can we talk about how black dark-skinned supermodels are more on the extremely dark-skinned side, right? But your day-to-day girl isn't as dark as them. So it's either we have extremely dark black girls, dark-skinned black girls, or nothing. There's definitely something that needs to be filled in there.
First of all, it is okay that this lady has some sort of need for there to be representation for the not so dark skin tones. The dark skin have struggled for a long time to be seen by many people, and when we started getting a lot of representation, we started getting more of the rich dark melanin. That I'm talking about the South Sudanese girls, the Tanzanians that are really dark skinned. For the African Americans, there's been a lot of representation. So now I think her problem is now the fact that the representation is more of the deeper shade, and the people with lighter shade dark skin aren't represented. That is absolutely fine, because as much as we start seeing representation, we want to see it in all ranges, right? Just like we see different ranges of the light complexion, the very light complexion, the medium. Like, she's now pushing for more of the representation, not just for the rich dark skin melanin. We don't really see it in entirety the way it is. There are different skin tones. Like, there's a variation of the dark skin. The makeup industry helps us with that, where we see this whole chart of the different ranges of the dark skin. So we understand that the dark skin is not just the rich or deep melanated. There are different shades of melanin, and we want to see all of these shades represented. How hard can it be? I also want to talk about the underrepresentation in general of dark-skinned women in Africa, because we rarely see dark-skinned ladies, dark-skinned girls being represented in our media spaces. I know personally that, especially in Nigeria here, there isn't enough representation of the dark skin. Talk more of the different shades of the dark skin. In Nollywood, basically, we have like very few Nollywood female actors that are dark skinned. Off the top of my head, the ones that I can think of right now are Mercy Johnson, Genevieve Ume, and Genevieve Naji. In African countries, there are a lot of holes because we don't see as much dark skinned ladies, as much dark skinned girls being represented. And I think that's one of the reasons why there are more of these cases of bleaching and insecurity concerning the dark skin, like I mentioned in my previous video. Because if in the African culture or in the African continent we see a lot of dark skin representation, I don't think a lot of dark skinned girls will be going on that route of skin bleaching, because there's still a lot of dark skin girls who make them feel confident in their skin. And I think it's also seen in India, because I saw this video of a lady talking about how we're coming into 2025 and there's still no representation of dark skinned women in Indian media.
Mama, if you don't apologize to me this minute, I'm going back to Costa Rica.
Which is crazy, because we're talking about representation when it comes to the dark skin, so that a lot of dark skin young ladies that are growing up are seeing that they are represented. They are seeing that there's beauty in the dark skin. They are seeing that there's no limit to what they can get to because of their skin. Like, their skin color cannot be a limitation to their success. But we're not seeing that in Nigeria here. Well, we rarely see a lot of these dark skin girls in the media space. I know there are some of them, but like, we need to see more of them. Young girls, like, we engulf ourselves in media. Like, we are, let me just say, 8 hours of 24 hours in a day, we are on our phone. And when we are seeing people like us, we feel that we're like, it's okay to be who we are, be a dark skinned girl in entirety. And it's crazy that the reply this lady got to this particular video was that we shouldn't be complaining, we West Africans, like,
and so you're complaining that we as Nilotite peoples, and primarily South Sudan, are taking over the modeling industry? You shouldn't be complaining. You West Africans and Bantu West Africans and Central Africans have a much bigger population than us. So the reason why Nilotite peoples are taking over the modeling industry is because they have the best looking people and they have the best looking women in the world.
I don't even understand why we're even differentiating Africa. Like, this is where this is going to start another ism, because we already have a lot of ism: racism, colorism, texturism, featureism. Like, we're going to have more ism within the African people, because you're talking about how the East African girls, the Nilotic girls, Nilotic girls, sorry if I don't pronounce that right, are the better women, are the beautiful women, are the whatever. It's going to start a whole segregation and differentiation among the African women in general. And it's crazy that we are the ones that are putting ourselves in this whole, like, starting this whole crazy stuff for ourselves. When I see videos like this, I'm like, what is wrong with us? Like, what are we doing to ourselves? Because if we're complaining that people are treating us a certain way because they don't really know who we are, why are we putting those on ourselves as well? Because when you do stuff like this, that's exactly what you're doing. Very soon there's a word is going to come up for this, if there's not a word already that I don't know about. You know, differentiation between the East African women and the West African women is crazy. Like, can we just learn to accept dark-skinned women and African women in general for who they are? I think I'm even going off topic with what I'm talking about in today's video. We do need to have representation, not just the dark. Like, we need to have all shades fully represented in the media space. It is not totally understood the kind of of trauma that young dark-skinned girls go through, believing that they are not beautiful, believing that there's something wrong with them being dark-skinned. And they grow up in all of this media space, and they are seeing a lot of dark-skinned people being glorified, dark-skinned women being in these places, in these high places, and they grow up feeling like they can't get there because they're dark-skinned. I mean, that is why we're talking about representation. That is why we need to see a lot of dark-skinned people being in those spaces, so that these young girls can see them and know that it's possible for them to also be who they are, like be themselves in entirety as dark-skinned women. Like, it's obviously a lot of work, but like we can get there. Let's just do better where it concerns women, African women, dark-skinned women, you know, like let's have all of the representation, and mostly to African men and Black American men. We can do better when it comes to our preference. I saw this video of a lady talking about most of all these men talking about their preference, why they don't like dark-skinned women. It's just their preference. They prefer the light-skinned women. Beneath all of that preference, I think there's still some shady business, because you don't want to publicly come out and be a colorist. So you're going to hide under your preference of the light-skinned women.
So let's say you date a light-skinned girl because it's your type. What happens when you marry this woman and she gives you a child and it's a girl, and the girl comes out looking like you? How will you instill confidence in this dark-skinned girl?
It's possible that your child can get your own gene and have rich melanated skin. So how are you going to instill confidence in that young girl? And this is no shade, this is no hate to any white skin or light skin girl. There's a lot of struggle that the dark skin people face when it comes to being themselves 100% that a lot of the light skin girls don't go through. So when we talk about topics like this, we just want people to be aware, and we want to see all of the representation that we're asking for. Like, give dark-skinned women the same opportunities that light-skinned women get. Okay, I saw a video of this TikToker talking about how she has about 3 million followers, but when she blew up and had all of this millions of followers, like the most opportunity she got was just, but I say a shout out. If I have that video, I'm gonna put it out so that you guys see what I'm talking about. Like, let the dark skin girls and the light skin girls all have same opportunities. Like, we know that that's being totally unfair. If a light skin girl blew up like that, or a white girl blew up like that, like there would be more than what the dark skin girl gets. So treat all women equally. Okay, if this is the opportunity or the benefits of being at this stage or being like this at this point, let all women have equality regardless of skin color. It's so crazy. Let all women have equal opportunities. Simone Nicole talked about it as well. I think in some videos back, I can't even remember that video. She said something about with all of the followers and subscribers she has across her different social media platforms, she doesn't have the opportunities that she's meant to get, that light-skinned people or white women would get with this number. You know, it's so crazy that the inequality is loud. Let's have equality and let every woman, regardless of her skin color, be treated equally and be granted equal opportunities that every other woman have. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.